Welcome to Below the Forest Floor. My name is Nancy, and today we're going to be discussing the beautifully grotesque Siren Head. Now, for those of you who don't know who or what exactly a Siren Head is, I would like for you to take a moment and imagine with me a 40-foot tall skeleton that still has some of the flesh left on it. But instead of a skull as its head, it's two speakers with mouths inside, like fully functioning mouths with humongous horse-looking teeth that almost look like they're made of wood. And some pictures I've seen, he even has a tongue, but that's only some pictures. Its arms and legs are incredibly long, and its body color resembles that of a red rusty color. Some people say that it's very similar to blood. Interestingly enough, the speakers on its head are its weapons of choice. It uses them to kill its victims, but doesn't always kill to consume. The fact that Siren Head doesn't always eat its victims is what classifies this monster as a hostile cryptid. Luckily, Siren Head's home is deep in the forest, far from most human contact. But be extremely cautious though, as he does have the ability to lure unsuspecting people towards him by mimicking human voices. According to some reports, he even mimics your own voice. A lot of people don't get into how he's able to do that, but it's something that happens. The way he's able to talk in general is pretty interesting in itself though. He talks by being able to tap into radio waves and plays it through his speaker head. He can also play news broadcasts, distorted screams, and siren noises. One way to recognize if a voice you hear in the woods is Siren Head or not is to listen for any type of distortion or static. I'm sure by now you're wondering how the legend of this creature even came about. Well, it's actually quite new and was created by Canadian artist Trevor Henderson back in 2018. According to the online news source NowToronto.com, Henderson was inspired to make Siren Head while trying to create a found footage scene for his art. Found footage is a subgenre of film where you make a video look like someone found a home movie that a random person recorded and left somewhere, but it's usually footage of something really scary. This way of filming was popularized by the 1999 cult hit, The Blair Witch Project. The art piece shows a distorted view of Siren Head standing in a graveyard in the middle of the day. The graininess of this drawing does indeed give off the look of a scene from an old camera. Soon after the debut of this piece, Henderson was contacted by an indie game developer and asked if he would allow him to create a fan-made Siren Head game. He had no say in how the game was going to be created or what was going to happen to the game, so a lot of people who have been talking about Henderson having not done too much with the game itself, it's actually not his fault. He had no say whatsoever in any of it. And the only reason he allowed this game to be created was that he told the guy, as long as you don't charge people to download and play the game, you can just kind of do whatever you need to with it. Little did the creator know that this was what would truly put Siren Head on the map. The fan-made game was played by some of the biggest names in the YouTube gaming community, even though it was only about half an hour of content, and it doesn't have a lot of replayability because it's pretty much just an introduction of Siren Head. Since then, people of all walks of life have added to the lore and the footage of this creature, some even going as far as to tell stories of Siren Head's first sighting. And when I say footage, I mean that people are actually creating fan-made films and claiming that they saw Siren Head. People have said that the lore dates back to the 1960s and beyond, but that's only according to certain air quote victims on blog pages. I'll be reading some of those stories now. The first sighting of Siren Head occurred in 1966 when a family on vacation in the Arizona desert captured an image of Siren Head in a graveyard. 20 years later, on July 16, 1995, someone named Chad and his friends went hiking in the woods of Tanyard Creek, where they found Siren Head to be lurking. According to Chad, his friends had gotten snatched by something gigantic striding through the trees, which mimicked their voices. Chad was found alive with a few injuries while the friends were gone. Some speculate that they were either taken or killed by Siren Head. In total, according to the reports, there have been 9 reports of Siren Head, and all of the stories got released by the victims. Some examples of this are that when people went missing in Indiana, some citizens were claiming that it was Siren Head that did this. Although these incidents are not the first depictions of Siren Head, according to some people, ancient rock paintings of Siren Head have been found all over the continent of North America, which indicates that Siren Head is not a new species on Earth, but that there may have also been sightings of creatures that resemble this guy. They lack similar features. A caption by a Tumblr user on the original Siren Head photo reads, "She was on vacation with her husband, and they were scoping out graveyards on the way, as you do, when she saw it. Rising out of the old cemetery, a big, old, macabre-looking telephone pole. Was it some kind of bizarre art piece that the authorities hadn't gotten wise to yet? Even as she stepped out of the car, the megaphones on its head screeched to life. 9, 18, 1, child, 17, remove, vile." A buzzing, doubled voice screamed random words at her. At this point, it jerked into motion, striding down the hill towards her. Along with what some people are claiming as personal accounts of having seen Siren Head, people have created tons of fan-made sighting videos on YouTube. All of these forms of air quote evidence have caused some people to start searching on Google, asking if Siren Head is really real. Others have even searched up on how to summon him themselves. All of this wanting for him to exist has worried a group of concerned onlookers, and they believe that if you want something bad enough that you can manifest it into reality. This, in my opinion, is what has officially cemented Siren Head as a timeless urban legend in his own right. Whether Siren Head is real or not is still up for debate amongst the urban legend community, but what I do know is that he has a home here with us below the forest floor. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and I hope to see you all next week when we find out the origins of La Llorona.